Yo, 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 what's up, my brothers? Hey, did I ever mention to you guys that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere? That explains everything. And being black basically means don't try because you can't win. Even if you do win, you still have to say you can't win. That's a black thing. Well, that's the gist of this article I just read in Hollywood, The Hollywood Reporter. 4 black directors. There's the guy from Get Out. There's the guy from Black Panthers. A couple of other fellas. I don't know who they are. I guess that makes me a bad person. And the entire it's an interview with these 4 guys. The entire interview is black this, black that. We suck. White people suck. We couldn't do this. Nobody's going to help us do that. And they're really unhappy that the genius of these 4 guys was stifled, unrecognized for so long. Why did that happen? Better still, when did it happen? Here's a question. Here's just one question they ask. What were your personal inflection points when you guys realized that the game was rigged and not necessarily in your favor? Lee Daniels said, when did I figure out the game was stacked against me? When I was born. Next question. The guy who did Get Out, Peel, he said, yeah, it just is. That's the thing. People are talking about this day and age we live in, and we hear so much about the racial climate and this idea of, quote, where did this come from, unquote. Black people know it's the same damn world we've been living in all day long. It's louder and a little more emboldened now than it was a couple of years ago. But it's all the exact same sentiments. So that's it, man. Always. Wow, there's a lot of brain power in that room. Way smarter than me, way smarter than you, way smarter than just 1/10 of those guys is way smarter than all of us put together. So, I don't expect you're going to see this. I don't expect they're going to answer it, but let's just ask it anyway because maybe they can answer it for us. Maybe the universe will reveal the answer to us through these guys at some point. Could you explain why black criminality is so wildly out of proportion? I know it's the white racism thing. Cops are always picking on black people. And if you put the cops from black neighborhood to white neighborhood, we'd arrest white people for doing the same darn things all the time. Yeah, I know that. But really, I mean, that's just kind of generalized. Maybe you could help us understand why stuff like this happens.
On camera, a Boost Mobile employee was assaulted by an angry customer. This happened at the store on West 4th Street in Lorain. The worker says the man was unhappy with the company's return policy. Lorain police telling our Tara Molina this is an example of why you always need to be vigilant. And Tara, do police know who assaulted that worker?
Well, Rob, police think they've narrowed in on a suspect this afternoon, and you guys are about to see for yourselves why they found it so important to find this guy before he did this again. Unhappy with the store's return policy for the cell phone he has in that box, this customer has a rather unconventional approach to getting the Boost Mobile employee to help him. Flipping the computer and equipment at the front desk.
Was trying to threaten his way to get something done.
And charging the employee behind the counter before storming out of the building.
The store employee said he sustained injury to a thumb, I believe, when the computer screen crashed back into him.
I sat down with the detective on the case, Chris Colon. He told me this angry customer is looking at vandalism and possibly assault charges, and they're set on finding him.
We make an arrest and we send a message out, hey, this is not going to be allowed in our city.
He told me this is something we can all learn from, explaining this employee reacted in the best way possible, not engaging him in fighting.
If he's bold enough to throw a computer screen at somebody, you have no idea what he's going to do. What else is he going to escalate to?
But with this type of incident becoming more common, especially with shoplifters.
If you're in a store and something like this happens, what's the best thing to do?
that's a touchy situation, you know. Some people they might want to intervene and help out the store employee, which, there's a risk in that type of involvement. Again, you get yourself in that situation. You don't know what the guy has, like I said, a weapon or anything like that, and it could be used against, turned on you. I would say at the very least, get on your phone, call the police, call 911.
5:30, a brutal attack on a fast food drive-thru worker, and the victim now speaking out against her attacker.
She says he opened fire on her with a paintball, which could have killed her. Reporter Simon Shaquette has her emotional story and clues that could lead to his arrest from Dearborn.
The victim in this case tells us she was working at this fast food restaurant when the unthinkable happened. A customer out of control targeting her with a weapon. These disturbing images posted to Facebook show the painful aftermath of a sinister paintball attack.
I was in shock and I was holding my face. I thought I got shot by a real gun.
Too afraid to give us her full name, this drive-thru worker goes by Kivana.
He drove up and I opened the window slightly halfway to take his money, and he just shot me with a paintball gun and he drove off.
Kivana also recalls the reason for the brutal attack that left her with a wound only inches from her eye. She says the paintball pistol packing punk who did this was furious the frappe machine was out of order.
It wasn't like I was being nasty or anything. I just took his order and I guess he wasn't satisfied with the answer he had gotten.
It all happened at 1:30 a.m. here at Michigan and Gully. Kivana describes the guy as a heavy-set black male in his 30s, wearing a hat, driving a late-model black Ford Crown Victoria. She hopes Dearborn cops arrest the supersized scum before he targets someone else.
You're going to get what's coming to you. That's all. You reap what you sow. So he's going to get it real good.
Thankfully, Kivana is expected to make a full recovery from her injuries.
Somerset, two guys put a gun in the face of a woman who was walking to her car, threatening to blow her away, but turns out the gun wasn't real, and she was easily fooled. You could be too, though. 7 investigator Jim Kirchner live outside the mall on Troy to show us how this happened.
Police say the two robbers hit here using an airsoft pistol. We bought this one at a nearby sporting goods store for $35. You can see it has the orange tip, which means it does not shoot bullets, but this can be altered to look real. We're certainly not going to tell you how, and people are surprised this happened here at Somerset. Or are they?
Danger is everywhere.
Okay.
So it's kind of not where they feel like they can come out here because this is Somerset, so this is where everybody shop.
And this is where police say two guys, both 17, walked up to a woman in her 30s, told her to hand over her shopping bags and money, or she would be, quote, blown away right here.
Really?
Right here.
That is crazy. That's absolutely astonishing.
Troy police also say the second teen demanded the woman's cell phone and glasses. As soon as she gave them what they wanted, they ran off on foot.
That's automatically the right thing to do. You just give up your stuff.
The two teens are from Southfield and have been arrested in another case, but they also had the victim's belongings from here. This high-end holdup is a surprise here because Somerset Mall has tight security with officers visibly patrolling all of the parking lots. Still, there's one thing missing. They are not armed with guns.
I'm a criminal justice major. I think that security guards need to be more qualified. They need to be able to carry guns because in this world, you never know what could happen.
One more thing about this airsoft pistol, it shoots these plastic pellets. So this is anything but a toy. And I can tell you, while this can be altered to look real in the dark, who would think it's not real in the heat of the moment?
And also developing this morning, a man is in custody after an early morning shooting in Vermont. It happened outside of Nectar's Bar on Main Street. This was in Burlington. Police responded to reports of gunfire around 2 o'clock this morning. Witnesses say a man fired a gun into a crowd near the bar and then ran off. The suspect was arrested a short time later. A woman who was shot is in serious condition.
Back here, Philadelphia police are looking for 3 men accused of robbing a Wawa in Mount Airy. The holdup happened on Valentine's Day at about 10:30 at night on the 7200 block of Germantown Avenue. One suspect points a gun at several people while a second suspect gets money from the register. All 3 suspects fled in a dark sedan. A taillight appears to be damaged on the vehicle. and a door is a different color.
Philadelphia police say a woman wounded in a shooting in North Philadelphia overnight was an innocent bystander.
She was one of 3 people shot. The other 2 victims were men. One of them died.
Action News reporter Bob Brooks is live outside the 25th Police District headquarters in Hunting Park with the latest. Bob?
Well, Sarah and Rick, this happened down on 6th in West Clearfield, and according to police, this was done in an execution style. The gunman walked right up to these victims. He shot one of them point blank in the head. That victim has passed away, and that gunman now is on the loose. A candle burns outside of the corner store where 3 people were shot last night. One of them now dead. It was a brazen attack in the early evening, right around 6:30. Police say 2 of the 3 victims were the intended targets.
Walk out of the corner store in the 600 block of West Clearfield when the shooter walks up to them, point blank range, and fires at least 5 shots.
One victim was shot in the head, a 30-year-old. He's been pronounced dead. The second man, a 24-year-old, was struck in the arm. He's unstable. Well, this morning, Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross says the third person shot is a 23-year-old woman. She was hit in the back and unfortunately was an innocent bystander. Luckily, she too is now listed in stable condition.
It's a very brazen move. Didn't care about anybody else who was around, which unfortunately is not atypical. And so we're just hoping that somebody will come forward with some information.
Detectives spent much of the night last night watching surveillance video inside of the corner store. They say the whole incident was caught on tape. Police believe the gunman used a 9mm semi-automatic handgun and that he was last seen running east on West Clearfield Street, away from the scene.
First look at the man arrested for allegedly running down several people in a parking lot. Boris Machek has been booked into jail for 6 counts of felony assault, DUI, and other charges. His passenger, Marco Deng, booked as an accessory to a felony. It all happened early Sunday morning in the parking lot of the XO Lounge near 95th and Q Streets. 6 people were injured and rushed to the hospital, both by ambulance and private vehicle. La Vista police pulled over Machek and arrested him a few miles away. And according to court documents, he just bonded out of jail about a week and a half ago. In that case, he's accused of obstructing a police officer or firefighter.
We've learned that Metro Police have arrested a man that they believe is tied to a triple murder that went down last summer. Kenneth Lancaster, this man right here, is facing charges in the crime. We first told you about this last June when police told us they found Mark Higgins, his son Keith, and Keith's girlfriend Jessica Cart all dead inside a home on Forsythia Drive. Still tonight, we don't know what led up to that triple murder.
Down in Florence, South Carolina, a couple of the fellas decided they wanted to go in there and borrow a few things from one of the local guys. They went in there and beat him and killed him. You don't really hear about white people doing that too much. What about this little film clip? Guy's unhappy with his lovely lady. He's unhappy with one of her friends. He's even unhappy with her mom.
Video shows 2 men wanted for shooting a teenager in the Hunting Park section of Philadelphia. Take a look as one of the suspects opens fire into a restaurant, striking the 16-year-old boy in the arm. This happened Friday night at the Golden City Chinese Takeout on the 4100 block of North Broad Street. The victim was treated at Temple University Hospital, is expected to be okay. Police are now looking for both suspects. And for a closer look at their pictures, you can go to our website at 6abc.com.
Hey, why say it when you can show it, right? And as Matthew McConaughey likes to say, in every scene, we have to know what the character wants, but we also have to see what the obstacles are he has to overcome. Well, these fellas, they want to shoot somebody, and the obstacles are, well, come to think of it, there are no obstacles. And there's going to be fewer obstacles since in the city of Philadelphia where this happened, they're going to outlaw plexiglass that would prevent this kind of thing. Wow. Have my people call your people. We'll do a screen treatment. This fella out in a city called Cary, this fella attacked an old woman, raped her, assaulted her. Hey, did you know that black on old lady violence was a thing? Yes, it often involves rape. Yeah, we documented that a lot. Could you show me some examples of white people robbing, murdering, raping old ladies? Just one. But if you show me one, I'll have to show you 20. Hey, here's something. Here's something a little cinematic for you guys. This woman was charged with firing her gun after she and one of the fellas in a North Carolina movie theater disagreed about who was going to sit where to watch that world-changing movie, Wakanda, where it is revealed for the first time what Africa is really like when somebody tells the truth about it, and not that watered-down, crazy version of Africa being a third world hellhole that is so often portrayed wrongly in the Western press. Thank you for that. And why don't we move over to the VA hospital to a nursing home, the World War II vet, where a couple of the lovely ladies are laughing at an old white dude as he dies. Check out this story out of Illinois. A couple of the fellas decided they were going to threaten, intimidate, harass, vandalize an old white chick because she said she supported the cops. Boy, this would make a good movie.
Windows smashed in South St. Louis. The threats grow against a business along Cherokee Street. And it's all over one owner's support for police. News 4's Eric Cox talked with the owner tonight. She's determined to stand her ground.
The windows at Elder's Antiques boarded up after words of warning were left behind with broken glass Tuesday morning.
It's just sad. It's so sad that we all just can't live together.
Sherry Elder says she arrived at her shop to find a handwritten message. It read, "You've been warned." It's the second frightening situation she's faced this month as a result of the pro-police flag hanging outside her storefront.
We're not going away. Well, I mean, we're not going to take that flag down. If we board up the windows, we're going to put the flag on the windows.
News 4 first talked to Elder about this message taped to her window 2 weeks ago. It reads, "Pig supporters not welcome. Flag goes down or you go down." Now some of her neighbors are also being harassed. Just a few doors down, the window at DeMay's Antiques is also boarded up. Surveillance shows 3 vandals recently kicking in the glass.
Things will be taken care of. The wheels of justice move slow, but they'll get theirs.
I mean, these are just the stories that I've gotten in on my computer from my viewers since I read that article in the Hollywood Reporter a couple of hours ago. This is the tip of the iceberg. Every one of these stories is an example of black criminality wildly out of proportion. Let me guess, white people do it too, it's not really happening, or white people deserve it. Yeah, we've heard all that before, but maybe you could enlighten us some more. I just saw Jesse Lee Peterson over the weekend, and he tells a very simple but powerful message. It's caused by hate, solved by love. Have you guys ever heard that kind of message? Or are you just enabling it by excusing it and promoting it and pretending you're a victim? But you know what? If you're going to pretend you're a victim with your life circumstances, I think you're going to have to be slightly better actors than directors, because you're going to have to be a GD genius. And we know what happens when that happens. A whole lot of black kids get real angry.